So, good afternoon to everyone. In last class, we have
Good afternoon,
studied.
sir.
In last class, we have studied few silent features and few important points that is being mentioned in your aphorism number 7. Just have a look on these points. After completing the collection of symptom from the patient, attendant, and physician's own observation, what we get is called portrait of disease. From there, aphorism number 7 is the second step of your case taking. And this aphorism is actually aphorism for guiding us regarding analysis of case. आप चाहो तो एक important point इसमें लिख के रख सकते हो अपने side में. This is the first and most important message that is given in this aphorism is regarding analysis of case. दो मेजर इंफॉर्मेशन है इस aphorism में, and the first is called regarding analysis of case and the second is called regarding importance of totality of symptom. And that's why Hahnemann has also given two important footnotes in this aphorism. If you will see the footnote in this aphorism, you will find that first footnote is regarding causa occasionalis, that is regarding your analysis of case, and the second footnote is regarding totality of symptom. And so second footnote is also, you can say it, totality of symptom versus symptomatic treatment. When I say analysis of case, that means during your case processing, after case taking and before totality of symptom, case processing has different steps, in which first step is your analysis of case. When I say analysis of case, you must not or you should not confuse yourself with analysis of symptom. Analysis of symptom is different, that you must have studied during your symptomatology class. If not, I will give you later on some directions regarding that. But analysis of case is different. Analysis of case, by saying this, here you have to first remove all the unimportant sources of symptom or unimportant symptoms which are from outsourcing, or you can say clear your case from any type of adulterated symptom. So it is the washing off, it is the filtering of whole case, and that's why it is called analysis of case. What is the case that you have already collected from your aphorism number 6, that is called portrait of disease. So what are the major information that give you in this aphorism is, number one, analysis of case, that is removal of the effects of causa occasionalis and causa occasionalis removal, and the second part is called totality of symptom. And beside these two major information, one important information, again it is related to the second part, that is totality, is called identification of symptom and knowing the source of symptom. And that is the middle part. Those who have textbook, these are written in your italics in your aphorisms. So if you just want to note down what are the important points, then removal of causa occasionalis. Second is importance of symptoms, or you can say definition of symptom better, and then totality of symptom. So these are the important points that we have to study in this aphorism. So let's begin with the first point. As we read here in your aphorism, what he says, now, as in a disease from which no manifest exciting or maintaining cause has to be removed. Just be careful while reading this first sentence. You should not be confused here that it is written anything else. Clearly it is mentioned here that when in your case there is no need to remove the causa occasionalis और exciting और maintaining cause को निकालने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. What happens when such need occurs? जरूरत कब नहीं पड़ती है निकालने की? जब वो ऑलरेडी निकाला जा चुका है. जब वो ऑलरेडी निकाला जा चुका है. When it is already separated, then there is no need for altering, removing this exciting or maintaining cause. So, आप इसको किसी भी और तरीके से कंफ्यूज मत होना. It is simply saying that the first and most important thing during your case processing is to clear your case, to filter your case, to collect only the pure symptoms. So what he says, when there is no need for removing the exciting or maintaining cause, here one more important word that you must emphasize is this word that is called manifest. यहाँ पे अगर वर्ड मैनिफेस्ट नहीं होता और सिर्फ कहते कि फ्रॉम विच नो एक्साइटिंग और मेंटेनिंग कॉज हैज टू बी रिमूव्ड, क्या डिफरेंस हो जाता? So you must understand here also, as you are from second year, so I will give you in a minimum way, because in this aphorism, when I will teach for second year, I will limit myself with minimum informations. When I will teach this aphorism in your final year, then I will correlate this aphorism with very important concept of Hahnemann that Hahnemann has given in your introduction part, that is called Tolly-Cossum. But you have studied Tolly-Cossum, or if you have also studied Ciset effectus, Ciset causa, that is to be correlated when you're final years. When this aphorism I will teach in PG or in the practicing physician, then this aphorism must be correlated with aphorism number 153. This aphorism must be correlated with the exact part of cause and effect relationship. So just come to your subject topic. When he says from which no manifest exciting or maintaining cause, सबसे पहला, सबसे बेसिक, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज अभी क्या कह रहा है कि वो कॉज जो आपको नजर आ रहा है, मैनिफेस्ट कहने का मतलब होता है जो आपको नजर आ रहा है, दैट विच इज टेंजिबल. अगर हम कॉज एंड इफेक्ट को थोड़ा सा समझने की कोशिश करें, इन होम्योपैथी कॉज एंड इफेक्ट must be understood in many ways, but one of the very important way of understanding is one cause are those type of cause which are tangible, which are manifest, which are cognizable with your senses. अभी जब हम फुटनोट पे जाएंगे, एग्जाम्पल देखेंगे तो समझ में आएगा. And the other type of causes are intangible. They are not directly cognizable to your senses, जिसको हम कहते हैं डायनामिक कॉजेस. इसको आप डायरेक्टली देख नहीं सकते, सुन नहीं सकते, टच नहीं कर सकते. So here he is emphasizing the very basic part of clearing your case, very basic part of, you can say, analyze your case, or you can say remove the adulteration from your case. सबसे पहले क्या जो दिख रहा है उसको हटा दो. That is called removal of manifest exciting and maintaining cause. To understand this, here is the need for going to the footnote of this aphorism. यहाँ पे देखो footnote दिया हुआ है 1. So before going to the further in aphorisms, it is one of the way of studying this कि जहाँ पे footnote है पहले वहीं पे जाके उसको पढ़ें before we move further from the aphorism. तो क्या कह रहा है पहले? वैसा केस जहां पहले से कॉजा ओकेजनलिस हटा दिया जा चुका है, दैट मीन्स जहां अब आपको इसको रिमूव करने की जरूरत नहीं है. अब उसके लिए एक फुटनोट दे रहा है, दैट इज द फुटनोट ऑफ 1. दिस यहाँ पे देखो क्या कह रहा है, इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी to say that every intelligent physician, यहाँ पे देखो physician के साथ वो एक adjective use कर रहा है, word intelligent, and this adjective is important. हर जगह वो physician कह रहा है, but कहीं कहीं पे वो intelligent और कहीं कहीं पे वो unbiased, कहीं कहीं पे unprejudiced, कहीं पे अलग अलग ऑब्जेक्टिव से यूज किया है. तो यहाँ पे इस ऑब्जेक्टिव का भी इंपॉर्टेंस है. So क्या कह रहा है? It is not necessary to say that every intelligent physician would first remove this where it exists. किसकी बात कर रहा है? Where it exists. It means here, आप चाहो तो इसको सर्कल करके अपनी किताब पे लिख लो. It means causa occasionalis. And very important thing that you should note, यहाँ पे जितने भी examples दिए गए हैं, they all are tangible. ये सारे वैसे एग्जाम्पल्स हैं जहां ये कॉज आप देख सकते हो, ये कॉज आप टच कर सकते हो. दीज कॉजेज आर ऑल टेंजिबल, दे ऑल आर योर सेंस परसेप्टेबल, एंड सो यू कैन रिमूव इट. जो वेरी फर्स्ट वहां पे कहा था, मैनिफेस्ट एक्साइटिंग एंड मेंटेनिंग कॉज. अब यहाँ पे देखो क्या क्या एग्जाम्पल है, हम इसको फिर से अभी बाद में पढ़ेंगे. यहाँ से देखो एग्जाम्पल शुरू हो रहा है. He will remove from the room a smelling bottle flower. Tangible है, देख सकते हो, हाथ से टच कर सकते हो, हटा दो. Which have a tendency to cause syncope and hysterical sufferings. जिससे उसके स्मेल की वजह से जिसको वो कॉज हो रहा है, वो आप उस पार्ट को, उस ऑब्जेक्ट को वहां से हटा सकते हो. Extract from the cornea the foreign body that excite inflammation. अब वो आंख में कुछ पड़ गया है, टेंजिबल है, दिख रहा है, आप उसको टच कर सकते हो, रिमूव इट बिकॉज इट इज मैनिफेस्ट कॉज. देन व्हाट ही सेज, लूजन द ओवर टाइट बैंडेज. हाथ में कट गया है, बैंडेज कर लो, आपने इतना जोर से बांध दिया कि सर्कुलेशन रुक गया. अगर वो सर्कुलेशन रुक जाएगा तो वहां पे हीलिंग तो दूर की बात है, डिस्टल पार्ट में गैंग्रीन होना शुरू हो जाएगा ड्यू टू लैक ऑफ सर्कुलेशन. तो क्या कह रहा है, रिमूव दैट टाइट बैंडेज और उसको फिर कुछ छोटा सा सुटेबल अप्लाई करो. Lay bare and put ligature on the wound of the artery producing fainting. वहां पे उसको हटा करो. आर्टरीज को अगर आपका किसी का सपोज कर लो कट जाता है और वो इतना कट गया कि वहां पे दोनों पार्ट एक अच्छे खासे डिस्टेंस में आ गया है, तो जब तक आप उसको अपोज नहीं करोगे, जब तक आप उसको प्रॉपरली मिलाओगे नहीं, क्या वहां पे हीलिंग होगी? सूचर करना जरूरी पड़ जाता है. Endeavor to promote expulsion by vomiting of belladonna berries. Just for example, अगर आपने कुछ ऐसा सब्सटेंस खा लिया है जो पॉइजनिंग है, बहुत सारा सब्सटेंस है, आपने खा लिया है, आप एंटीडोट करोगे वो तो बात की बात है, लेकिन अगर वो सब्सटेंस तब तक स्टमक में है और उसका वो डाइजेस्टिव प्रोसेस में वो इंक्लूड होता रहेगा ब्लड में, तो क्या आपको लगता है कि आपका कोई भी फर्दर प्रोसेस ऑफ ट्रीटमेंट इंप्रूव करेगा? Until and unless you will clear the stomach by induced vomiting. This is again tangible. Any foreign body अगर किसी orifices में अटक जाता है तो क्या वहां पे आप उसको साइलेशिया देके क्लियर करोगे, या कोई भी XYZ जो एक्सपल्शन के लिए आता है? You have to remove them manually. Similarly, he says unperforated, कोई भी अगर orifices रहता है इनबॉर्न बेबीज के अंदर, अगर कोई भी congenital abnormalities के फॉर्म में, then you must have to take surgical interference और उसको मैनुअल आपको ठीक करना होगा. So all these examples that Hahnemann has given in the footnote 1 of aphorism number 7, just have a look. All examples are tangible. All examples are those which are manifest. And so they all belong to those type of effects, those type of causes, which can be removed. And it must be removed before you begin a treatment. Sometimes during the classroom lecture, just I give certain example. If you just open your tap in your kitchen and the whole kitchen is filled with water, and when you have to just dry the kitchen, then what you will do? You will just put all the water out, or you will first close the tap. Until and unless you will first close the tap, you're just getting out all the waters is a useless work. So first you have to close the tap, then you have to wait that maximum water will just go away in the sink. Whatever will remain only that you have to manage. So first you must have to break the causative factor that is constantly inducing, that is constantly producing that type of manifestation, and that is called causa occasionalis. That is called the cause that maintain that cause. That is called maintaining cause. So cause that is maintaining, that must be removed. तभी यहाँ पे कह रहा है कि many of the complaint, यहाँ जो indisposition की बात कर रहे हैं, many of the complaint after removing this cause, if they have not developed in a fully diseased state, that is what we say indisposition, that is called slight alteration in the state of health. Indispositions are those type of alteration, those type of uneasiness which persist for a very shorter duration, and they are just corrected by correcting the cause, and rest these type of alteration, these type of manifestation of uneasiness doesn't require any type of medication. This is just a manageable condition. Jisko once again, if you want to study separately, you have to study aphorism number 150, 150, और इसका एक शॉर्ट नोट्स भी बना लेना. इसमें और कुछ लगेगा तो है आपको बता देंगे. इसको अगर शॉर्ट नोट्स बनाओगे इन दिस पोजीशन में, then you must remember three things. One, they are very slight alteration in the state of health. Number one, they are due to certain cause, tangible causes. They are due to certain type of exciting or maintaining causes, which happens to be just sometimes earlier. And the third point is they are corrected by correction of the lifestyle or removal of those cause. And next point is they need no further medication because they are not a developed disease. They are just a slight and trivial alteration. Just write down these points and just elaborate in 2 sentences. Your short note will be completed. Or you can mention the reference of aphorism number 150. So what we have studied in this footnote, Honeyman is here giving all the examples of those type of causes which can be corrected by manually, or they must be corrected manually before we begin to make our totality of symptoms. So once again, just come back to the main aphorism. So here is the marks of first footnote. And so what he says, now as in a disease from which no manifest or exciting or maintaining cause has to be removed, that is causa occasionalis. So that means when we have already removed this, so there is no need for this to be done again. What happened then after? Then he says, we can perceive nothing but the morbid symptom. Second important thing in this aphorism, correction के बाद जब एक कलेक्शन में से हमने सारे एडल्टरेशंस को हटा दिया, तो अब जो बच जाएगा वो क्या होगा? वो प्योर बचेगा. सो दैट रिमेन्स, जो बच गया है वो क्या है? वो प्योर सिम्टम है, वो इंपॉर्टेंट सिम्टम है. यहाँ पे एक वर्ड देखो लिखा हुआ है मॉर्बिड. Symptom in itself a morbid manifestation. Then why Honeyman is saying here morbid symptom? एक चीज याद रखना, यहाँ morbid symptom कहने का मतलब है इस symptom को वो एक स्पेशल प्लेस दे रहा है. दैट मीन्स ये वो सिम्टम है जो बीमारी का सिम्टम है. ये सिम्टम किसी और कारण से नहीं है. These symptoms are not due to any other influence. Just remember, ये सिम्टम किसी मेंटेनिंग कॉज के मैनिफेस्टेशन से भी तो हो सकता था. ये सिम्टम किसी बाहरी एक्सटर्नल कॉज की वजह से तो हो सकता था. But when I have removed, when we have separated all those causes, that means the effects of all those causes will gradually disappear. That means symptom वो भी था, but they are not called morbid symptom. Whether already they will be called as symptom, but they are not morbid symptom because they are not the disease symptom. They are the symptom due to these outsourcing. And so when we separate all the symptoms which are from any outsourcing or any causa occasionalis, then what remains is the morbid symptom. That means true symptom, that means symptom of the disease. And that's why it is called morbid symptom. And then he says this morbid symptom, जो disease symptom रह गया है, they are the symptoms due to the possibility of miasm. देखो जो under bracket में लिखा हुआ है, regard being had to the possibility of miasm. तो अब ये सिम्टम वो है जिसके लिए मेडिसिन रिक्वायर्ड होगा बाद में, जिसके लिए टोटलिटी बनानी पड़ेगी, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड द मॉर्बिड सिम्टम. हियर यहाँ देखो हमने ग्रीन में एक चीज को आपको हाईलाइट किया है, अटेंशन पेड टू द एक्सेसरी सर्कमस्टांसेस. ये जो वर्ड लिखा हुआ है ना, दैट अगर आप इसको थोड़ा सा और आगे पढ़ोगे, दैट वर्ड विल or that small sentence or the part of this sentence, attention paid to the accessory circumstances, this will help you when before making totality of symptom, you must have heard one process that is called evaluation of symptom. And this will help you in evaluation of symptom. Because your accessory circumstance is such a thing that give a type of acceleration and deacceleration to your original symptom. Certain times your accessory circumstances helps to increase the original symptom, and sometimes this accessory circumstance helps to deaccelerate or decrease somehow or control the original symptom. So symptoms must be taken care, that is the morbid symptom. They are the possibility of miasm, and we should pay attention to the accessory circumstances, that what type of accessory circumstances is associated with this type of patient, and what is the influence of this in the development of symptoms of that patient. And this under bracket part will help you during evaluation of symptom when you will make your totality. So before totality, the next or immediate step is evaluation of symptom, and evaluation के बाद ही totality of symptom बचता है. So what he says, this remaining symptom, the morbid symptom, be the symptom alone by which disease demands and points to the remedy suited to relieve it. The vital force has just one language for all its need. The vital force is having just one language for all its need, and that language is called manifestation. This manifestation, when vital force is in case of health, it is called manifestation. When vital force is called sickness, it is called symptom. जब तक वो हेल्दी है, अपने हेल्थ को वो एक्सप्रेस कर रहा होता है by manifestation that you have studied in aphorism number 9. And similarly, when it get deranged, वही manifestation altered हो जाता है, and that altered manifestation is called symptom. So it is the symptom and symptom alone by which vital force shows itself all its derangement. It is the symptom alone by which we can identify the disease in that particular person, and it is the symptom alone by which collecting all such symptoms and making totality of symptom that we will designate a disease and we will search for a suitable remedy. So this is the importance of symptoms again. And to this symptom, he further says this symptom is what? It is nothing but, and moreover, the totality of this symptom of this outwardly reflected picture of the internal essence of the disease, that is the affection of vital force. This symptom is what? It is nothing but the affection of vital force, that is the derangement of vital force, the alteration of vital force. And what he says, must be the principal or the sole mean. हमने अभी क्या कहा आपको? Symptom, symptom and symptom alone, and that's why it is called, it must be the principal or sole mean. यही एक एकलौता मध्यम है, यही एक एकलौता जरिया है. This is the only way by which vital force express its derangement, or by which you can know the disease, and it is the only way by which you will select a remedy for removing the alteration of this vital force. And so, whereby the disease can make known what remedy it requires. जो हम कह रहे हैं, the sole mean, the only mean, the only thing that can determine the choice of the remedy, the most appropriate remedy. And thus, in other words, the totality of such symptoms must be the principal and indeed the only. Once again, बार बार emphasize कर रहा है, for your selection of symptom, you have nothing except symptom, symptom and symptom alone. Your whole performance must be guided by only symptom. And so it is the only and indeed the only method by which we can know the disease, we can select a remedy, and after removal of this, the patient will be called as cured. So indeed, the only things the physician has to take note of in every case of disease and to remove by means of his art in order that it shall be cured and transformed into the health. In short, just एक छोटे से सेंटेंस में इस एफरिज्म को समझने की कोशिश करो. क्या कह रहा है? Simply, first, remove all the symptoms which are due to causa occasionalis. कैसे हटाओगे? Just remove the causa occasionalis. Symptoms will gradually disappear. जो कह रहा है फुटनोट में यहाँ पे देखो, जो कह रहा था वो, the disposition thereupon generally ceases spontaneously. इसी का मतलब है. ये कैसे हटाओगे? By removing this causa occasionalis. So first is remove the causa occasionalis. Then what he says, जो बच जाता है ये symptom morbid symptom कहलाएगा. ये morbid symptom क्या है? That is the alteration of vital force. ये alteration of vital force is acting from head to toe. So if vital force is altered, the manifestation will be also from head to toe. And so you have to collect all the manifestation from above downward, from physical to psyche, both. जब इन सारे अल्टरेशन को मिला लोगे, then क्या होगा? This is the complete demand or complete words of the deranged vital force. That is called totality of symptom. That totality of symptom is indicative of the disease, as well as that totality of symptom is indicative of the demand for medicine, because इसी को आपको अपने मेट्रिया मेडिका से काउंटर पार्ट में मैच करना है और इसको ट्रीट करना है. And that is your work, that is your duty, that is your mission that you have to do. So regarding this second footnote, totality of symptom, here is your second footnote. First, I have told you earlier that this aphorism has two footnotes and two important messages in these two footnotes. First was regarding removal of causa occasionalis, and second footnote is regarding the importance of totality of symptom. In this footnote, I think time is less. I will continue this again in our next class, but let me say one thing. Most of the time, superficially, people says that homeopathy deals with symptom, so many says that this is symptomatic treatment. No, my dear, homeopathy is not and is never symptomatic treatment. Symptomatic treatment are designated for those type of treatment जिसको हनीमैन कहता है it is a faulty method, it is a one-sided procedure. देखो यहाँ ग्रीन में हमने लिखा है one-sided procedure And this method of treatment Hahnemann is regard as antipathic, जहां पे totality नहीं लेते, holism नहीं लेते. When symptomatic treatment is concerned, they are concerned with only symptom, not totality of symptom. So symptomatic treatment and totality of symptoms are two different poles. Totality of symptom is your homeopathic way of treating. Symptomatic treatment is your antipathic mode of treatment. So you must be clear in your mind. You may be asked to write a short note in your exam on symptomatic treatment. So you must express there symptomatic treatment means considering the only one or two important symptom, avoiding totality of symptoms. So symptomatic treatment is regarding antipathic way of treatment. It is not homeopathic way of treatment. Symptomatic treatment is a one-sided procedure, is an antipathic method of treatment. What he says, in all the times, the old school physician, not knowing how else to give relief, have sought to combat, and it is, if possible, to suppress by medicine here and there a single symptom. देखो mind it, symptom को यहाँ पे देखो जो लिखा हुआ है क्या कह रहे हैं, single symptom. This is called symptomatic. Single symptom, एक symptom, intense symptom. Out of all the case एक important symptom को pick up कर लेते हैं और उसके बेस पे हम prescribe कर रहे होते हैं. That is the approach, that is the method that is being frequently practiced in antipathic way. It is not homeopathic way. So this single symptom among the numbers in diseases, a one-sided procedure. What do you mean by one-sided procedure? When we say one-sided procedure, आपको एक बार अभी aphorism जब आओगे थर्ड ईयर में one-sided disease भी पढ़ना है. One-sided word is used called हमेशा उसको हम कहते हैं कि incomplete. One-sided procedure मतलब defective process, a defective procedure, not perfect one. When it is called not perfect one, then it is called defective, then it is called one-sided. So by saying one-sided, it clearly means a defective process. So इस aphorism को हम next class में फिर कल या मंडे को कंटिन्यू करेंगे. आई थिंक आपका टाइम अभी ओवर हो रहा है. एक बार इस दोनों 7 aphorism को अच्छे से फुटनोट के साथ पढ़ना. This aphorism and aphorism number 8 we will finish in our next class. Just 1 minute remained. Anyone want to ask anything else?
Yes sir. Sir, morbid symptom में pathognomic और characteristic दोनों symptom आएंगे.
Morbid symptom के अंदर वो सारे क्लासिफिकेशन जो बाद में होते हैं वो सब होंगे जो एक सिम्टोमेटोलॉजी के क्राइटेरिया में आता है. मॉर्बिड सिम्टम का मतलब सिर्फ यहाँ पे वो होगा जब वाइटल फोर्स का डिरेंजमेंट डायनामिक कॉज की वजह से हो रहा है. अब उसके अंदर वो डायग्नोस्टिक सिम्टम भी होगा, उसके अंदर वो एनामनेस्टिक सिम्टम भी होगा. तो जो आप दोनों टाइप बता रहे हो वो दोनों टाइप होगा उसके अंदर, बट वो कॉजा ओकेजनलिस की वजह से नहीं होगा. Anything else?
No sir.
चलो ठीक है, एक बार इस एफर्सम को पढ़ के रखना अच्छे से. नेक्स्ट क्लास में हम आपको इसको पढ़ेंगे. संडे को क्लास करना चाहोगे?
Yes sir.
Yes sir.
अगर चाहोगे
Yes, sir.
सभी तो आप हमको बोल देना, तो फिर हम कल
Yes,
आपको एक
sir.
क्लास कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, तो कल का हम आपको टाइम देते हैं. ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच. तो कल इस एफर्सम को फिनिश कर लेंगे एफर्सम 8 के साथ. ओके,
Thank you, sir.
Okay sir. Thank you sir.
Thank you, sir.